Yes, but I tell you what, here is the truth of it, people. If John McAfee actually had any data, I swear to Christ, he would be fortifying it.
Hey guys, quick warning ahead. There's some offensive language in this podcast. I didn't want to censor John. I thought that it would be better this way. If offensive language is offensive to you, this would be a good episode to skip. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy this great dialogue between myself and John McAfee.
There, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Isn't that amazing? How does this all work? I mean, I don't know where you are. You don't know where I am.
Right.
And we're sitting here using a cheap little device compared to its capabilities, as if we're sitting across the table from one another. But I'd like to thank all those involved in this process, although it would take forever because there are literally hundreds of thousands over the past 100 years that brought us here.
Absolutely. That's the miracle of technology, right?
It is indeed.
What has inspired this recent string of podcasts you've been on?
Okay. There were a couple of things, really. I'll be frank with you. Number one, I am a lazy motherfucker, and I'm 74 years old. And for those of you who wonder what it's like to be old, there's only one requirement. It's not longevity. It's can you tolerate the fucking pain in your body and even in your mind when you see kids repeating over and over the same mistakes that you've seen 3 or 4 generations make with absolute precision, same mistakes. So, yeah, so that, but it's a pain in the body. So, what happens is you're sitting still, like my knees. I blew my knees out in a jet ski accident a dozen years ago. And now I'm almost crippled. And, I can walk. It's just painful. So I got to sit. And so once I'm sitting, I don't have any pain. TV's on, got some dank minge, got my lovely wife, Janice, half my age. God knows how that happened. I hope the universe never finds out the mistake it made in handing Janice my way. So I've got that. I don't want to get up. So the only thing that will get my ass up is work. If I schedule a goddamn podcast, I don't care if you only have 3 followers and only one of those might be watching it, then still, if I've scheduled it, I'll fucking do it, man, come hell or high water. And number two, the main reason, if I go on CNN, which I have many times, or Fox, which I have many times, or even RT more times than I can count, even with RT, a very liberal and accepting mainstream media, I'm stilted. Everything is formal. There's a well lit stage behind the commentator, the interrogator, whatever it may be. And you don't know which is coming, right? Because what's coming at you is not what's best for revealing the truth of who you are, but what's best for selling more eyeballs on your media. Because what you just did was, oh, well, that was dramatic. Stabbed McAfee in the foot. Let's get watch more of this shit, right? So, or the metaphorical equivalent. Please God, I'm not that crazy. Although, who knows? Anyway, um, so podcasts, you and I feel like I am sitting across the kitchen table on you. Play the mashed potatoes in the middle with a spoon and lots of butter.
Sure.
My feet are up. And, in one hand, I've got a glass of brandy, and the other, I've got a beautiful, succulent, sensual Cuban cigar. And on the table in front of me is a nicely rolled spliff. That's what I feel like. So that I feel like you and I are simply not interrogating one another, but out of curiosity, gently probing to see, wow, dude, who are you? You're here on this planet with me. And this is the truth of you. In mainstream media, if you think you have ever seen the truth of anyone. And please God, you should not have done that brain donor transplant because see what happens with no brain.
Eloquently put. And so in a world where trust and misinformation, or trust is gone and misinformation is kind of running rampant, obviously you have gravitated, as many have, towards cryptocurrency and these kind of technologies that help enable trust where there is none. Where do you think
Yes.
it's going for America, as opposed to where do you think it's going in China?
Well, in relation to cryptocurrency, what's going on, or what will be within the next year at the very least, will be going on with every world government will be exactly the same thing. How to rescue their fiat currency from the onslaught of cryptocurrencies. Well, good God Almighty, if that's not the most fearful of all enemies that any government has yet faced, then you please name one more fearsome. No, this is a worldwide thing. So China developing its own cryptocurrency? Yes. Why? Once they've done it, they can demand that this be the national currency and you may use nothing else. The US, are they coming up with one? Not announced it, but I promise you it is in the works, and within 1 year we will have one, and so will every advanced nation on the planet, and probably the third world countries even. It's so trivial to make a national currency, isn't it? You could be getting RC20 token, for example.
Right.
No,
Now,
I'm
do you
laughing,
think?
but that's how trivial it is.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they could just spin it up real quick. I mean, with no effort, minimal effort. Um, do you think that those cryptocurrencies that governments will push out will be on private blockchains that are centralized?
Well, of course. Duh.
Right.
What president or dictator or a king, and there are a few left, or emperor, uh, in their right minds is going to look at what's happening in crypto, going, my God, these people have privacy coins. They're getting away from us. We'll no longer be able to know how much money anybody has. Well, fuck you. Why should you? Not your business, government. Your business is to serve us, not to monitor us. But in any case, yes, they will be centralized and they will monitor every penny that comes into your wallet and out of your wallet, and from whom, and to whom, and for what, for fuck's sake. You'll have one more bar in the cage of your prison of slavery to the financial system, controlled by those who control the currency. They now control the US dollar, or in Britain, the pound or the yen, or doesn't matter, Chinese yuan. They will then control the equivalent only in terms of cryptocurrency, which is more of an oppressive, more of a system that surveils your every financial move. Couple that with your every physical move, with cameras on every goddamn street corner. Couple that with your social media and your emails, which are easily accessible with the tiniest of subpoenas. What you have, people. Now, is that doomsday for us? Fuck no. We have the power now. It came from the people. It didn't come from the bowels of some secret government organization, or it didn't come from the CIA or from Samsung. No, it came from a bunch of geeky programming developer dudes that gave the software to the world for free in open source, and upon which we have built a powerful system of cryptocurrencies and other functional possibilities of the blockchain. And the government wants that now. Well, fuck no. They can build their cryptocurrencies. Please go ahead and even make it illegal not to use it. Not that they could know if you're using privacy coins and distributed exchanges. But even if they make it illegal, everybody is doing it. And they have made, for the past 75 years, marijuana illegal in America, in most states, with severe penalties. And yet, what happened? People just continue to smoke it. And we will continue to simply use our crypto. No different. My weed, I paid for it, I'm going to smoke it. My
Right.
crypto, I use it, I'm going to use it.
And do you think that, I guess, what do you think is going to happen when they do start to crack down hypothetically on using cryptocurrencies that might be banned?
Well,
I guess, how
they
does it
will crack
look?
down. They will crack down. Obviously, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're going to say you may only use ours. That's one way of cracking down, isn't it?
But how do you
The
enforce that?
question, you can't.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How do you force people not to smoke weed? You can't. How do you force people not to use their own populace-made cryptocurrency, made by the people? People, believe this. This is one of the first in human history, a technology that popped up from us, the common man and woman. And good God, don't throw this opportunity away, or I swear I will haunt every one of you young pops when I'm gone, because it is in your interest and the interest of the ones you love, and of interest to your children and grandchildren if you have them, and all the children of this world. It is of interest to them because we owe our future generations something, for Christ's sakes. A better world than the one we were born into, if possible. Is that not one of the highest ideals? We owe this. So take the risk. It is civil disobedience. Civil disobedience is not criminal activity. It's the reverse of it, right? Criminal activity, I'm going to rob a liquor store. I did rob a liquor store, beat up an old lady in the street because I liked her shoes. They were my size, whatever. No, that's criminal activity. Civil disobedience is you must use our cryptocurrency. And I just sit quietly in my chair, doing nothing to anyone, harming no one, and simply refusing. Well, I'm just sorry, I'm not. That's civil disobedience. And it is an American ingrained trait for those who care to say it is my right when we have unjust laws like the income tax. That's a throwback to the feudal times where the king would send his men out 3 or 4 times a year and count how many potatoes you grew and say, okay, if you grew 1,000 potatoes, we're taking 250. If you complain, we're going to either jail you or kill you or both simultaneously. And that was it. Tell me that's not what we're in today. Our government says you will work for us 2, 3, maybe 4 months a year, and we will take the fruits of your labor for ourselves. Why? Because we, in 1913, took that power to do so. It was not intended in our Constitution and is, in fact, illegal, but please try not paying taxes like me. I exist in a Faraday cage so that my signals can't leave this room and therefore be traced or tracked by anyone outside. Well, I mean, for me, this is just normal living, but for most, that would be a hardship. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying you individual. Why are they chasing me? I'm standing up, front of the world for whoever will listen and saying, listen, people, this is wrong. We have created a nightmare through our ridiculous indifference to reality, to the point where we as a people, in choosing whom to elect for, let's say, our highest office, the president, and we're going, who is the person for that job? Someone who loves America, someone who truly is willing to sacrifice their fucking time for 4 years to do this. And get paid $250,000 and they tax half of that, and expenses are hellacious. And no. So who do we elect? Well, we elect people who are willing to pay 50 or even $100 million to be president, to take a job that pays $300,000 a year. What person reading that paragraph that I just spoke out would not say, man, you people are crazy. Why are we doing it? Should we not be electing the people that we know are going to do a good job, but are hiding in corners in fear that we will make them do it? Like George Washington, he had to be drugged, kicking and screaming into the presidency. He didn't want that. God damn, I'm an old man. Listen, I was a general in the army. Please leave me in peace. But everybody knew that at that time, no one there had the capability of leading, organizing, and structuring a new nation other than an army general. And he was all they had.
What do you
made him do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What do you think makes a good leader then in a presidential role, or maybe just like a business role? Like, what are those qualities that are innate to good leaders?
We don't need leaders in this country.
Okay.
And seriously,
Yeah.
We've got Family Guy and Superman and superheroes. We don't need leaders, people. We need people willing to sacrifice. What are they sacrificing? By sitting in that chair. On one shoulder, you have an offer of the golden goose. But if you do the right things for yourself, you will be rich and powerful and loved forever. See, that's if there were Satan, that's Satan. Then on the other shoulder, you're going, I have children, grandchildren. I've been given a horrific responsibility. And how the fuck am I going to carry this out? And you don't carry out by leading. You carry out by doing. I learned this in America, in the West. I spent many months on the Navajo reservation, the Hopi reservation, and living among and camping out on cliff sides with these people. And the Indian chiefs were not the leaders. They were the explorers, the adventurers, the ones who came back and said, listen, people, we need to move. And no one goes, oh, they're giving orders. No, we didn't give any structure. Said, hey, I'm coming back. I'm just giving you some information. You need to move. And I'm moving now. Now, who the fuck is not going to follow that dude? I mean, if with self-confidence and with a history of being, fuck me, he was right. That's who you follow. You're not a man out there saying, I want to lead the people, we must go here. But no, a guy out doing his own fucking thing, which is best for the tribe. Might be entertain yourselves for 3 or 4 years. I'm going to wander west and see if there's great opportunity for us. I don't fucking know. I might be back. No, that's a leader. Not someone who wants to lead, but someone willing to sacrifice for the good of everybody. And instead, who are we electing? I mean, do you really think someone spending $100 million to be the US president is going to be altruistic? And I did this for the future of humanity. No. You got that golden goose that's laying golden eggs, and all you got to do is reach up and lay your hands on them. And there is the beginning of corruption, which is endless.
And well, so you're saying just distribute all the power all the time. We can't have the systems that we have in
We
place.
can do it now.
Yeah, we have the power.
Before this time in in human society and culture, we did not have the technology to literally disorganize ourselves. Understand, not organize, disorganize. To understand that, for example, in organizations, the average sheep, the average person following the system, feels nothing from anything. I mean, when a president, for example, I'll ask you, everybody, imagine the last presidential election, whatever hopes you had, has anything in your life changed? Was a single hair on your head whisked by the wind as a result of that election? No, you know this. I'm 74. I've seen more elections than I want to remember. And at no time did any change of president change anything in my existing life, nor in my prospects for the future, nor in anything else. People, we are in a system that is equivalent to an automobile with a frozen steering wheel. And we keep putting new drivers into that car and say, drive over here, drive over. It doesn't matter who's driving people. I mean, but God himself, and it is going where it's going. So why are we spending all this time and attention on this issue when really there's something far deeper? And the reason we're spending this time on this issue is because it keeps us entertained and mesmerized by this fake fucking drama of politics, while behind the scene, a covert agency of enormous worldwide power, the most powerful entity on this planet, warned by Dwight D. Eisenhower, our last sane president, warned us of stay, watch. The CIA and the military industrial complex will destroy the soul of this country, and it has. And it does this by keeping us entertained on the things that don't fucking matter, like who's president. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Who's a congressman? It doesn't matter. Why? Because the CIA, which consists of career officers and agents, you don't ever leave. You come in at 23 and you don't even retire. You simply get a paycheck from a secret corporation instead of the government from now on. You're there for life. And presidents come and go. And in the CIA, they have a word for all politicians. And it's like the N word. They call them transients.
Okay.
Transients. They come, they go. They're of no value nor of use to anyone. And here's why. Let's assume you're a career officer and you spent your entire life from 8 to 5 or more, and perhaps even weekends, struggling with the complex issues of international relations, political alliances, histories, cultures, languages, religions, and you barely understand it yourself. And yet you have trained and studied for years. And if you are the CIA, you know everything that's happening in this world right now. I promise you, this is the truth. And knowing everything that's happening, you see politicians like presidents that come for 4 years, 8 at the most. Well, you couldn't begin to brief them in 8 years. Impossible. A lifetime of knowledge and learning in the minds of hundreds of thousands of people, which is our covert agency, the CIA, can't possibly deal with a president if they allow that president to know anything that they don't want them to know. And by our law, presidents, just because you have a top secret clearance, I had a top secret clearance, tens of thousands do. Doesn't mean you can walk around and ask people, hey, do we have aliens in America? Do you think they would tell a president that? No. I'm sorry, sir, you don't have a need to know. That's their magic wand, need to know. And that means that, like, if you need Iraq, which the CIA did, to be neutered just prior to the Second War, and it had to be done. It says, listen, we got to neuter Iraq. I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to get the Israelis to do something. Maybe get Bush to do something. Well, let's see Bush. Isn't that easier? Okay, work it out. So the uh, handlers of presidents, okay, because that's what they are, puppet masters, come in and go, Mr. Bush, with 100% certainty, Iraq has nuclear capability and nuclear bombs. And with 100% probability, they have missiles that can already reach our closest ally, England, and annihilate them. Mr. President, we can't possibly advise you on what to do. We're just telling you information. Knowing that, a president hearing that, what? You have no choice. You're going to bomb Iraq back into the Stone Age. Were there nuclear weapons there? No. The CIA knew that. The American public knew that. We all knew it except for the select few who were really in the know, and that's the president and Congress, because they were fed that baby food from the CIA that caused them to act in ways that only the CIA approves. Now, that's our shadow government, and these aren't evil people, please God. No, if they were, well, I wouldn't be out here talking like this. I'd be doing something seriously different. No, they're not. I think they're all patriots. I do. I really do. Else, why the fuck would they risk their lives, their sanity, their torturing is not fun, and that's the end product for many. Why would they do this if they were not patriots? Because really, the CIA, even though it's got more money than God, still nothing like being a politician. See, the CIA's got to scrape their money together from the drug trade, and what have you. Whereas politicians, they just add another percentage on our taxes, and they go off on their junkets as usual. So no, not as much as that. So which is why I would believe them more than anybody if they had the capability to tell the truth, which they don't. So now, here's our dilemma. We have this group, which I believe are patriots. And I believe in all truth that if they did give the idiots that we put into office information that these idiots wanted, God knows what would happen. I mean, in all seriousness, people, if you take an image of the past 5 presidents and our past election and even the 2 major candidates, and you're looking there and you're going, what I see is wisdom and understanding. I see an experience that gave them a glimpse into themselves. Like, no, fuck no, we don't look for that shit. What do we look for? Oh, Trump. Yeah, I get a bigger hard on watching Trump, right? So, no, people, wake up. Wake up. This is a play for your benefit. And this play will continue until we in the audience go, oh my fucking God, has anybody noticed? This is a play. I see the director back there behind the wings reading lines to that bitch that couldn't remember hers or whatever.
Right.
When you see that, people, you don't need a plan. You don't need to go, what do we do now? Because I don't know. You won't know. But when it happens, fuck me, it will happen. And it happens when human consciousness in this part of the world reaches a point where we, critical mass, sees the truth and goes, oh my God, we really are in a play. And this play is being run by people that we didn't give the power nor the authority to run this play or to even put the fucker on. And the other question is, where are they getting the money for this fucking play? Because it ain't cheap. So if we all see that, good God, people, because they are us. This is a tiny microcosm of us. We put them in that power. They're people, human beings. We outnumber them by a fairly large amount. That's all that's needed is wake up and say, hey, you guys, will you fucking stop it, please? That's all. You know, the grandmother say, hey, cut it out now. Or whatever. It'll stop.
So what would be some action items for the common person to help contribute to the overall freedom of the world?
Well, you got to free yourself first. You can't free. And if you're in your cage, you're not going to free the guy across the hallway from you. You know, so don't try. Don't even think about it. Free yourself first. Find out what it is that's keeping you there. Lost the key. And guard has it, and you can't sweet talk him into giving it to you. Too weak to strangle his ass and take it from him. Whatever. Um, you know, realize that you got to free yourself first. And people go, well, how do I do that?
Well, I got half a brain in one good hand, so I could figure it out.
Yeah, no, really. It's simple.
Yeah.
I mean, let me lay
Yeah.
it out for you. What does freeing yourself actually mean? Now, give me an example. Many of you, or not many, but maybe one or two of you out there might actually have a job like you're commuting half an hour every way. You have to get up at 6 and shave and look presentable for the world, unlike people like me who I just don't give a shit. You got to drive, park. You're in a windowless, airless office for 8 hours and there for 5 days a week for 40 fucking years. And my question would be, is this something in a world of all equality where if you said, I'm going to free myself from this and nothing else would change, would you do it? I promise you, people, you would, for most of you. Unless you were like me when I was working at McAfee, for example, I woke up every Monday morning going, thank God it's Monday. Everybody's going to be in the office because I'm in all weekend anyway. It didn't matter, but people are going to be here now. Good, yay! You know, and on Fridays, disappointing because, you know, my lead programmer wanted the weekend off to go to Lake Tahoe with this new girlfriend who was Swedish, and I knew that he was just she was only trying to get money from him anyway, but who cares? I let him go for the weekend and can't wait to get back to work because I can't do much without him. Now, if that's not your situation, where you can't wait to get to the office to start the joy of your job, then there's something you need to fucking free yourself from, people. I mean, your cage is right in front of your eyes in every aspect. Might not be a job, might be your family. Maybe you no longer love your spouse like you originally thought when you got married 5 years ago. Things haven't turned out like what you thought. You go, well, I expected, I thought love went on forever. Well, in some ways, yes, it does, but not in the ways that motivated you to get married, unfortunately. Well, then, why the fuck are you still there? And the answer to all of these, why I'm at my job still, why I'm in, is fear. You fear that if you free yourself from this cage, that the food that they slip under your bars every morning will no longer appear and you will starve to death. Well, I'm here to tell you that never happens. You don't starve. You got half a brain and one good hand. You're right. I don't know where you got that. That's a great saying. But yeah, the same thing. Half a brain, one good hand. No, you won't starve people. You won't starve. Is it worth it? Even if you did, if I'm in the cage, I'll probably survive for at least a week or two out there. Well, God damn, that's going to be the finest weeks of my life. I promise you that. So no, free yourself first. And that doesn't mean just the mental freeing, although that's a big piece. Require that in order to get the courage to do the action.
Right.
But free yourself. See who you are without the obligations which you willingly took on and just as willingly can put down. And see who the fuck you are at this point in life after 5 years of servitude to job or family or loved ones or ideology, whatever.
No, I like it. That's words to live by for sure. I think we're certainly running out of time, and you are.
You don't
before we get
mind.
there.
You don't mind if I drink grappa on camera, do you?
Absolutely not. You did already. I was
Are
fine
you
with it
sure?
before. 100%. Do
Well,
it.
but we weren't on camera then, were we?
We're on
Okay.
camera. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Look at that.
Now, for those
Are you following up with Coke?
who have never had grappa, you think you understand alcohol. Oh, people, I am here to tell you how deluded you are. Grappa, $1.85 in most grocery stores accepting dollars. And it's worth it at that price.
Fantastic.
I have to say that to get my grappa income every month. Okay.
Hey, man, I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating on it at all. You got your Grappa income. You're gonna get your dank minge income. That's freedom to me. Perfect. That's all I've ever wanted to hear. Thanks a bunch. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.